How is everyone doing today? Guys, we are back. We are back in the Middle East. We are back doing what we as Americans are born and raised to do, and that's spill blood. That seems like that's all we know how to do, guys. We can get into all the surface level nonsense about who started what, who's responsible for which sort of thing. But the reality is, we're at war. It happened. Lives have already been lost. And until we get Congress with a backbone, the best we can do is try to understand the current and future situation on the ground. Everything that is going on is so overwhelming, but it's designed to work like that. This chaos was purposely orchestrated. So let's try to bring some clarity to this conflict our country is now engaged in. My name is Tyrus. Please like and subscribe, and let's begin. And so, just so we're all up to speed, I want to quickly pull up, if I may, the current situation map that's going on in our country, or I mean, in the region and around right now. Can you guys see that? That's what we're dealing with, guys. It's been nonstop for 5 days. But look, before we get into my actual thoughts on all this, let's go ahead. Let's play the news. Let's get all caught up on what's going on right now in the world. Yeah, we got
from many countries.
Start that over.
David, the president announcing Khomeini's death in a lengthy social media post just now. I want to read to you what the president is saying. He says, Khomeini, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. This is not only justice for the people of Iran, but for all great Americans and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed or mutilated by Khomeini and his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. He was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems. And working closely with Israel, there was not a thing he or the other leaders that have been killed along with him could do. The president goes on, David, to repeat the claims that we heard him make overnight shortly after this attack for regime change. The president saying this is the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. The big question has been, what does that look like? How does the U.S. and how does President Trump envision that playing out? The president says that hopefully the IRGC.
Yeah, guys, just so we're all caught up to speed, I'm going to give a recap of what happened and where we currently are in this conflict. Israel has been fear-mongering about Iran's nuclear ambition for at least 34 years. Despite the fear-mongering, that problem was officially solved in 2015 under the Obama administration with the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, more commonly referred to as the Iranian nuclear deal. Key parts of that deal were successfully implemented, included the reduction of enriched uranium, the stockpiles reduced by 98%, capped overall enrichment at levels of 3.67%, reproduced multiple nuclear facilities for civil use, and allowed unprecedented, let me repeat, unprecedented access by UN inspectors to verify compliance with the deal. And I cannot emphasize this enough. The deal was working. Iran was in compliance. But none of that mattered when Trump took us out of that deal in 2018. And ever since then, it has been a problem. It has been 8 years of saber rattling, 8 years of sanctions, escalation from all sides, and even smaller battles fought between Israel and Iran throughout the region. First, our leadership told us this was strictly about Iran's nuclear ambitions. However, Trump already bombed Iran nuclear facilities in June of last year, claiming that Iran's facilities were completely obliterated. Well, 8 months later, here we are again. Apparently, Iran is once again a mere months away from obtaining a nuclear weapon. The ever-changing goalpost of why we started a conflict with Iran is one that is still not well defined by U.S. leadership. Since after multiple rounds of failed negotiations over Iran's nuclear goals, their ballistic missiles and conventional weapons, their support for regional proxies, their projection of power in the region, and their treatment of Iranian civilians, the United States of Israel launched military strikes against Iran on the 28th of February, 2026. Here is the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. My bad, guys. I mean, Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. BM, about to start another video. Let's see.
We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it. Their war on Americans has become our retribution against their Ayatollah and his death cult. It took the 47th president, a fighter who always puts America first, to finally draw the line after 47 years of Iranian belligerence. He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. President Trump has also been very consistent. Crazy regimes like Iran, hell-bent on prophetic Islamist delusions, cannot have nuclear weapons. It's common sense. Many have said it, but it takes guts to actually enforce it, and our president has guts. Iran's stubborn and self-evident nuclear pursuits, their targeting of global shipping lanes, and their swelling arsenal of ballistic missiles and killer drones are no longer tolerable risks. Iran was building powerful missiles and drones to create a conventional shield for their nuclear blackmail ambitions. Let me say that again.
Guys, do y'all hear that? Did you guys just hear that? And again, this ain't reporting. This is straight from the horse's mouth. And I forgot a few reasons, guys. Amongst other reasons for this conflict, we got killer drones and Iran's nuclear blackmail ambitions, whatever the hell that means. Whatever that means, guys. And let's be clear, this is war. We know there's a time period a president could take military action until there must be a formal declaration of war by Congress. Fun fact, Congress hasn't formally declared war since 1942. So if anybody out there wants to play technicalities, just stop. Look at how many wars we've had no problem engaging in that didn't get a formal declaration but ended up authorized by Congress anyway. Joint resolutions, such as authorizations for use of military force, are ultimately how presidents get authorization for war. When you hear MAGA try that argument, remember, it's an empty talking point that does nothing to actually advance the conversation, nor highlight real-world consequences happening on the ground. Anyways, let's take a look at what our leaders at the UN Security Council said recently. Hey, who's that? Tommy? Tommy, what's good, man?
What's up, big dog? That's me in the chat, the Clear Capital TV. Bro, I literally have a video of Nayatu. Every time he said that they're weeks away from war, from having nuked, all the way back to 1993, bro.
Yep.
Like, this shit is sick. And I got into it with one of the guys that I used to work with, of course, a non-vet, but cheering on vets. Cheering on our military to go fight some dumbass war that ain't got shit to do with us. And we kind of had a back and forth because I'm really getting sick, especially of people who, when it was your time to serve, and I'm not going to say count out, you didn't have any interest in doing it, But then you turn 50 years old, and now it's, oh, if they need me, I'll go. Sir, you're washed, and you know you're washed. So it's easy now to say what you'll do. But when you were healthy enough to do it, now it's a regret. One of my regrets. Oh, I had a kid at 18, all this and that. Well, I had friends in there that had kids at 18. So we're not trying to hear that shit, you know. But bro, this shit is sad. And rest in peace to them 6 service members that passed. One of them is from around my way, Sacramento. And it's just it's sick to see, bro. It's again, I mean, I'm like you, bro. I mean, I didn't say United States of Israel. I just said we're Israel's bitch. And it's clear as day, bro. It's I literally heard when Obama was president, he literally had a screaming match with Netanyahu about bombing Iran.
Yes.
You know, so he's been trying to egg this shit on forever. And I'm just, bro, it's
Trump,
sick.
Trump has been saying that Obama, because of low polling numbers, back in 2011,
Got that video too.
started a war with Iran.
Got that video too. Oh, and don't forget
Yeah.
to also, because he doesn't know how to negotiate. That was also one of his things. He was going to bomb him because he didn't know how to negotiate. And then now the Trumpers told me, well, how are you supposed to negotiate with somebody that? And I'm like, but he literally said, like, bro, this shit is just, it's idiocracy at this point, bro. It's just.
I'm glad you're up here, Tommy. I want you to stay up here with me because I want you to stay up here while I go through what our leaders are currently saying about this conflict. Not the mainstream media, Tommy, not the liberal biased media, straight from the horse's mouth, all right? Here we go.
With a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's 2 reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond and respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true because, in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third.
Tommy, Israel was so hell-bent on attacking Iran that our leaders knew Iranians would retaliate against us. But instead of reeling Israel in from their unnecessary aggression, like the most powerful country in the world should have done, we instead decided to further Israeli aggression by taking the lead in this conflict. So, Tommy, my first question to you, does that sound like the most powerful country in the world, or does that sound like a well-trained guard dog in favor of his owner?
Sounds like a bitch. I'm gonna keep it solid with you. Let me tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like you have an unhinged little brother that decided to hit somebody in the face. And because he did that, instead of telling him, hey, chill out, don't start nothing, you decide to go ahead and jump him. And then you get mad when said person who was doing nothing but minding their own business gets hit in the face, retaliates. Mind you, the same Pentagon that he referenced literally said there's no evidence that Iran was going to fuck with anybody. Literally, the Pentagon said it. So it's like, I go back to my friend. I said, so you telling me that everybody's lying except for Trump? You know what he told me?
What?
Exactly. I said, okay, you got it. Like when you're that far deranged, there's no reason to even have a conversation anymore. You got it.
Yeah. And speaking of Trump, again, Tommy, from the horse's mouth, let's hear what homeboy's got to say.
the strongest and most powerful by far military in the world, and we will easily prevail. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, if the president wants to do it really quickly. After that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored.
I see you in the chat, Joe. How we get here, bro?
There's nothing boring about this. Do you agree with that, Pete? I don't think there's anything, Mr. General. I think there's nothing boring about it. Somebody actually said from the media, I think he'll get bored after about a week or two. No, we don't get bored. I never get bored. If I got bored, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I guarantee you that. To go through.
So,
Insanity, bro.
everybody heard him. 4 to 5 weeks. And the capabilities to go far longer. He didn't say we have the capabilities to end this quicker. You know, one of the best ways to limit the amount of collateral damage inflicted in this conflict. No, he specifically said far longer. So for anybody trying to claim this isn't going to be another forever war in the Middle East, our leadership certainly think it is.
Well, Taruf, think about how disrespectful what he just said was. I'm not going to get bored. We got 6 people that are coming home in boxes. And you're talking about how you're not going to get bored.
What, the video game you play too long, man?
Because your pussy ass had bone spurs when it was your time to go over there. And I guess there's something wrong with your pussy ass son's spine why he can't go over there. So no wonder you won't get bored. But I guarantee if your son was over there, you'd be real bored with the shit really fast.
Oddly enough, about his son, I saw a recent report talking about he's too tall to serve in the military.
I literally had a friend that was in boot camp with me that was 6'7" going to a sub.
We've had multiple 7-footers in the military.
David Robinson. I had a friend with me on the ship, Michael Wiltz. He was 6'8". So actually, the guy in boot camp with me might have been taller than that because I think he was taller than him. And my boy Mike was 6'8". Oh boy, might have been 6'9" or something. Going to a sub.
Yep. But not barren. Not barren, bro. And look, we're all up to speed of really what's going on right now. We got 6 KIA, we got dozens injured, we got countless civilians unnecessarily dead. Just dead. Let's just call it what it is. And even more in the future, Tommy, about to be dead.
Forget the girls at that school. What was it, 168?
168, 158, something like that. Yeah, too many.
Did you see the video of Thomas Massey?
No.
Oh, he went in. And so for anybody that's on the right, he's a Republican, I believe from Kentucky. He went in on him.
Oh, yeah. Yep, like right now, Tommy, there is actually not big enough, but there is some growing backlash on the right because what was one of the campaign promises Trump has always said, all of his campaign promises, no new wars. Specifically, no war with Iran. And
On top of that, Kamala was the one going to start the war.
Amen. Amen. But actually, you know what I mean? So I wanted to get into 3 major points of discussion on top of obviously this overall topic, because a lot of Tommy, I expect you, I expect some other people maybe to come up here and we're going to hash this out. But one thing, with 3 things I want to hash out too is who are the actors in this war? Because like it or not, guys, we're at war. We're in it. We can't turn back the clock, right? What does from the Nile to the Euphrates mean? We're going to hash that out. and what can we expect moving forward? Who's that right there? I'm sorry, my thing's kind of small. Anton, what's up, man?
What's going on, Tyrese? What's going on, Tommy?
How you doing?
Tired, but I'll live. Or as we would say, embracing the suck.
Yo, before I get into
Pause.
Shit. Before I get into the players, the actors in this, man, what are your thoughts so far, Anton?
First off, condolences to the family of our fallen colleagues. Rest well, for you will be forever honored in Valhalla. I had to put that out there, man. Plain and simple. Anyone that's ever taken the oath, they know what I'm talking about that. Anyone who's currently in or who was in knows what that meaning of that term. And I tell people this right here, that's the window to my soul right there. That tells me I'm part of one of the most elite, most exclusive organizations that 99% of the people will never choose to do. Plain and simple. I carry that as a reminder, not to others, but to me, saying that I was able to do something that most people would never choose to do. Do you have your reasons? Okay, cool, no problem. No big deal. There's a difference between those who say they're going to do it and those who do it. Those who do it talk about after they put their name on that dotted line and take that oath.
%, man. I agree.
Too. A lot of people don't understand, especially with vets that served around the time I did. I was 03 to 07. We was over there under them false pretenses that we were sent over there for. We was over there when they completely fucking lied to us and said that Iraq had nuclear weapons and they didn't have shit. I've talked to people who went through there supposedly looking for shit and told us it wasn't shit over there. So when I tell people, if you didn't serve, you're not even looking at it from the same eye as I did. It's not a knock that you didn't serve. Is if I've never been a teacher, I can't speak to you about teaching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most of these people that know everything about Iran ain't never been outside the United States, but they know everything that's going on over there.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I may not agree with everything that the dude over there did, but let's get this understood. The same way you can show me the video of the people cheering for that shit, it's also a video out there of people crying over that man. The same way over here, if something happened to Trump, you'd have some people cheering, you'd also have people crying.
Exactly.
That's everywhere.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But
Tom, we breaking bread with the Saudis who literally committed 9/11. What moral high ground do we really have to say shit about?
Bruh, don't, bruh. I try never to get into those type of discussions about September 11th. I live not far from the World Trade Center. All right. I'm literally like not even a half hour away from the World Trade Center. And I got friends, and you and I, and we all have friends who were in the Pentagon on September 11th. Friends who survived and friends who sadly didn't make it. So, like, don't get me started on September 11th. It has a, for real, like where I live, it has a totally different meaning to a lot of places around the country. I tell people,
my bad, go ahead.
I tell people, like, people make it seem like as if really that serious? Not. Well, I put it like this. It's always going to have a different meaning for people that live in and around New York and DC. Because that was in their front yard. That was in our front yard.
Yep.
Plain and simple. I can tell you this right now. I used to work at the airport when everything happened. I was in the guard at the time. Airport was shut down for 2 days. I went back to work that Thursday. Got a letter from my job saying that they extended the military leave for anyone that was in the service from 3 months to 24 months. And then I got that call saying that, yeah, you're going to be pulling security and everything else and so on and so forth until further notice. And I can tell you this right now. The one thing that I still remember to this day was the smell of burned jet fuel and death.
No.
And if I could smell, and I'm working at Newark Airport, You can imagine what it's like for people who are at the World Trade Center and who are at the Pentagon.
Hey guys, point of order real quick. If you're coming from my Facebook or YouTube, I cannot see the comments. So come to Black Man Unfiltered, watch it here. I can see the comments. You guys could come up if you want. So, all right, guys. I want to one of the first thing I want to go over is who the actors are in the region. All right. So it's easy to constantly name drop 3 primary actors, right, engaged in this conflict: the U.S. forces, Israeli Defense Force, and Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. That's a mouthful. But in order to get a true understanding of what's happening, we need to go over the list of other actors directly involved in this conflict.
China and Russia.
Oh,
You talking
no,
about
we're
those?
regional.
Oh, you getting? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
First things first, guys, we got Hezbollah located in Lebanon. We got the Houthis in Yemen. We got Hamas in Gaza. We got Kataib, Hezbollah in Iraq. And we got a whole bunch of other smaller factions throughout Syria and Iraq we can't even begin to name.
Oh, Hamas, Islamic Jihad. I'm familiar with those names. Oh, man.
Just some of the few. I mean, some of the many, my bad. Some of the that we're going to be dealing with out here. Let's see.
I thought Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigade would be part of that group too.
They probably will be, because they are going to be in and out of, there's going to be a bunch of players in and out of this conflict. But overall, we want to get to the Gulf states that got hit already. I'm sorry, I got a lot of maps, guys. I'm all over the place. So let's see. Percent.
I'm gonna tell you, Tarus, that's the part that's really been tweaking me out, bro. I've been to that base in Bahrain.
Yep.
Put both
Really?
feet down on that shit. Yeah, got friends over there right now.
So already in the attacks, guys, in this conflict, Bahrain has been hit. All right. Down here.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, Iraq, been there twice, don't want to go back.
I heard stories about that.
Yeah, man. And
Kuwait.
not just Iraq, but my favorite place, the Kurdish region up here, the
Kurdistan?
Kurdistan unofficial territory, Erbil. Guys, I'm telling y'all, oh my God, when you drive into Erbil, into the Kurdish region, it's like driving into a completely different country. You go from bombed out buildings to, they got signs literally saying your speed is monitored by radar. Like we back in the States. Bro, they'd let us take our gear off and everything. It was like paradise. I just had to give shout out to them, man. But yep. So also Kuwait got hit. Which is right here below Iraq, Qatar, UAE, Syria, all of them got hit. Right. And so also, here's 2 of my wild card actors that I believe are going to also play a part in what we got going on. All right, guys, this is my second time hosting this stream, so bear with me.
A lot of these places.
I remember when.
First, guys, we're gonna have to deal with is Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda operates within Iran and Afghanistan. All right, they're in and out. They're a big problem. The next people we got to deal with. Does this automatically switch when I swap? No. I wish it just went to like the next tab or something like that. But I'm gonna go through it real quick. The Taliban. Taliban is the next, my second wild card. All right. We guys got to remember the Taliban's got full control of the government in Afghanistan. The Taliban will be less likely to join this conflict, as war just recently broke out between them and Pakistan, though they have recently offered to support Iran should it come down to it.
Not surprised.
But my biggest X factor in this entire scenario, our favorite, ISIS. ISIS
The Islamic
never
State.
goes away.
Islamic State. Daesh. Mm.
The ISIS hasn't been destroyed. It is very, very much active in the Middle East and parts of Africa. ISIS thrives off chaos, being both enemies to Iran and the United States. So how they decide to play this, guys, is anybody's guess.
They're the ultimate wild card.
Yep. And as stated before, there's going to be other actors entering and exiting this conflict as the war goes on. The question will be, what side do they end up supporting, how, and why? So basically, guys, it's a shit show in the Middle East again. What's your thoughts?
Let's be honest, plain and simple. A lot of these places you just named, a lot of those countries don't recognize Israel's right to exist.
Hey, Anton, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
Right. But it's going to be... It's going to get fugly.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. It's going to get fugly.
DL Saint, how's it going, man?
What's good, fellas? How y'all feeling?
What's good?
Chilling. Man, I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with any of it. I'm feeling you, man. But I think, the U.S. need boots on the ground. This whole thing, man, this thing was just fucked up from the flow up, bro. There was absolutely no plan. There was no plan here. Zero. So now the current administration is out here. Now they're listening to the Pentagon. Now they're listening, to the people in the field, CIA agents and all that. They're like, we need boots on the ground. The president thought we just gonna, we're gonna zap some people and then everybody in that country is gonna get in line. Like, man, you don't know who you're dealing with over there. It's the knuckleheads of knuckleheads over there. What you mean? Like what you did was just created maybe two more generations of, chaos behind this.
Or maybe they not cowards like he is.
What exactly? People who ain't afraid to do what they got to do, right? 100%.
Exactly.
I'm solid on that, man. But I think what's going on now, what I'm hearing, out here in these YouTube trenches, and you will hear these rumors in the YouTube trenches, and then like a day or so later, you'll see it in mainstream media. I think the Kurds, the Iraqi Kurds, from what I understand, I don't know if this is true or not, but it makes sense to me. The Iraqi Kurds have been training Iranian Kurds who've been encouraged to cross the border into Iraq, get the training, get the equipment, get the intel, right? I'm talking good training. I'm thinking there's at least one A team over there that's working with everybody, getting them squared away and sending them back into Iran now so they can, fight for their country or whatever. But the way they did this is all out of whack. It's all out of whack. They're supposed to be standing by ready to go. So once the bombs fall, then they move right in and start engaging who they got to engage and doing what they got to do. And that didn't happen. So it's just going to devolve. And, and talking about like this Islamic State, man, you're right about them, bro. That's the boogeyman. They're going to pop up wherever and do whatever. And Turkey and Syria. What's going to happen with Turkey and Syria? NATO intercepted an Iranian missile inbound to Turkey. Didn't get to Turkey, but they intercepted one today. So
let's not forget 3 of our jets getting accidentally shot down. Right?
That's 3 F-15s, man.
Just embarrassing.
Like again, the rumors in that Navy world, it wasn't the air defense that got them. Allegedly, it was an F-18 pilot, a Kuwaiti F-18 pilot who lit them up with sidewinders.
Those was Air Force, I believe.
Good God. Well,
yeah, but it was air to air. It wasn't ground to air. They're saying it was air defense, but no, it was air to air.
No, I'm saying our people they got dropped. Those was Air Force guys. I heard.
So DL,
that's the only people I know. That's who flies the F-15s. Yes, Air Force, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
DL, the reason why this is so chaotic on our end is because we're not the ones in charge.
Yep.
Which brings up my second point of discussion.
Hey, speaking of 18, Mandrell's in the chat.
Good,
There's
man?
a real green beret right there.
Yeah. What's up, Snake Eater?
But yeah, it gets to my second point of discussion, guys. What does the Nile to the Euphrates means? Now, there's been growing talk of Israel's true ambitions, and our leadership does little to dismiss the claims of this conflict that has been rooted in religious beliefs. Perhaps you've heard arguments that consist of biblical claims that the land by Israel is claimed by Israel using Genesis scripture, and wondered exactly what does that include? Well, to answer that question, here's U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, in a recent interview with Tucker Carlson.
And they can't see me, can they?
No, no.
Hey, tell him go on mute.
Facts. Maybe some people mean it.
I know
to
it's in their
mean that.
mouths. I know it's in their minds.
But I'm not, look, you'll never hear me say that. What you will hear me say is I'm confused by what the definitions are. So let's go through this. You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's Abram, it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include like basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant. So that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I mean,
I'm not sure it would go that far. I mean, it would be a big piece of land, but here's the point.
it would be a lot of places that are now countries that
But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way. Christian Zionism, I want to go back because that's where we started.
I'm
on
not
this.
going to let you off on this because you have
Go
said
ahead.
it 3 times
Okay.
that God gave this land to this people. And so it is entirely fair for me with respect to ask, what land are you talking about? Because I just read Genesis 15, as I have many times.
Mhm.
And that land, I think it says, from the Nile to the Euphrates, which is, once again, basically the entire Middle East. So God gave that land to his people, the Jews, or he didn't. You're saying he did. What does that mean? Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis.
Yeah.
You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all. But I don't think that's what we're talking about here today.
So, okay.
Not the mainstream media, not the biased liberal media, not leftist talking heads. U.S. Ambassador to Israel, straight from the horse's mouth. Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, because me and one of my boys is going over this. First of all, nobody ever asks why they're called Jew-ish. That's number one. Number two, after World War II, you correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was the Palestinians were nice enough to offer them that land after what happened to them in Germany. And I think America is the one that pretty much, kind of gave it to them.
Quickly, Tommy. Unfortunately, that land that Palestinians were on at that time was under British control.
Okay,
And
got you.
the Britain decided to, under biblical texts,
Got you.
give that land to the Jewish people that were fleeing.
And ever since then, they've been fighting to pretty much take over
Yes.
what he said from the Nile to the Euphrates. Because Israel wasn't enough.
I
Are
am
you on
about
mute? Oh.
I want everybody to, again, I want y'all know me, man. I say, look at a map when we're talking about these things. Hey, BN, pull the screen up. I want y'all to understand what the hell that means. Guys, this is the Nile over here. Right? We well into Egypt. Of course, they want the lush shit, the green stuff. Of course, they want the Nile. Come on. Too easy, right? But y'all see the moment we zoom out and now we're going east, how problematic that is. We got Egypt. obviously Israel, but they want to conquer Gaza. We got Lebanon up here. We got Syria. We got Jordan right smack in the middle of their ambitions, right? This obviously includes Saudi Arabia. And guys, here's the Euphrates if we're going to go parts of Iraq. This is where the Euphrates goes. But of course, I have to wonder, is that all that's included? Because we're bombing way over here in Iran, right? And so all of this, guys, is what they consider greater Israel. Okay. By the way, real quick, before I continue, I need everybody to sit through that Tucker Carlson and Mike Huckabee interview. Guys, it is eye-opening for all the wrong reasons. I really need you guys to mine through that. But greater Israel refers to the idealistic goal seeking to establish Israeli sovereignty over vast amounts of territory between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, with some extremists extending the borders from the Nile to the Euphrates. It is a vision supported by religious and right-wing nationalists aimed to include the West Bank, Gaza, and parts of the neighboring countries. And I'm going to bring up an article real quick from Al Jazeera. Let's see. Talking about greater Israel, or defining greater Israel. The most expansionist claim for greater Israel is based on the biblical verse Genesis 15:18-21, which narrates God making a covenant with Abraham that promised his descendants the land between the Nile and the Euphrates. That would include Jewish people, with the tribes of Israel believed to be descendants through Abraham's son, Isaac. But it would also include the children of other Abraham's son, Ishmael, regarded as the forefather of the Arabs. Other definitions based on different biblical verses are narrower in their territorial scope and specified that the land of Israel would be promised to the tribes of Israel descendants from Isaac. So right now, guys, it is an undeniable fact. America is a secular government, and yet our U.S. officials in a Western country is using biblical texts to justify an unprovoked war in the Middle East.
Hey, bro, here's the thing that a lot of people have a hard time grasping, man. Like, I'm not a Trump guy. I've never been a Trump guy. I'm very vocal about it. And it's not that my only problem with Trump is, I mean, he's Trump. I ain't got a problem with him. You know, game people game. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Trump is an idiot and he's dumb and all this kind of stuff. No, what I'm going to say is he doesn't care. Trump doesn't care. And the people around him are on what you're talking about. They're in the scriptures and they're doing whatever. And Bibi over there understands, like, oh, we got the one dude in the White House with all his power that we can jet our mind trick into doing what we want done. And what they want done, they probably do want to go, like you said, to the Euphrates, right? Whatever. And, you know, Americans are sitting here because MAGA's in shambles. MAGA's mad. I mean, you know, it's not just Tucker. Right? You got Marjorie Taylor Greene out there. You got all of the hardcore, the normal cast of characters. They're questioning this. And then you have the others, the Republicans who've gotten in line, because you got the old school hawks that just want to get back at Iran for something that happened back in 1978, 1979. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when I was in the Army, we was talking about going to Iran in basic training. Just before, you know, like Desert Storm and all that kicked off. We were seeing cases about going to Iran. So they just haven't forgotten, just like Cuba, just like Venezuela. Right? So they got the right dude at the right time in the office who doesn't care. Trump doesn't care. And I think that they realize they only have a small window to make this happen because Trump is going to snap back. Trump don't look at, you know, the approved, you know, polls and stuff like that. He watches YouTube. He's probably watching us right now. People be tripping. I'm like, yo.
Remember, it don't matter. Well, it don't matter now, DL, because it ain't like he going up for re-election. So
well, remember, he said he wanted a third term.
Yeah, but we know that ain't gonna happen. So I mean,
But hey, Brian,
Not saying,
this war
not
wouldn't
saying that
happen.
he look, not saying that he might not attempt it, but I'm just saying
Right.
I think most people are going, because when you open that door, then you got to remember now you opening that door for the other side. And
I'm with you.
listen,
I'm with you.
we got a guy that's about to run for president right now. I don't think nobody want no parts of that. Gavin Newsom, no parts.
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Man, what's going on, y'all? How
What's
y'all
up,
doing?
my
How y'all
boy?
doing?
What's
Man,
good,
what's
fam?
up, Tommy? How y'all doing, man?
You crazy for that picture, your baby.
I love
Oh,
that
yeah.
picture, bro.
Oh, yeah. How y'all
I
doing
love
tonight?
that. What's that, City of God?
Yeah, City of God. Yeah, man. City of God.
What you got for us, Brian?
Man, I just came into the conversation, man. Black man, he messaged me to see if I wanted to come up, man. I wasn't doing nothing tonight, man. I'm just trying to catch on to the flow of y'all conversation right quick. But what are y'all talking about right now?
We're just talking about currently what's going on in Iran. We're getting
Mhm.
into actual goals versus stated goals. Getting into right now what does the Nile versus Euphrates means, and getting in which involves overall what greater Israel is or isn't.
Mm.
Right. I mean, the Israelis know they only have so much time before America decouples. I mean, that's it. This is it. Israel knows that this is it. After this, the American people are going to decouple from Israel, and they're on their own.
And
I got a question. I want to add to that too. So I've been feeling this way too towards Israel for a minute. So do y'all think if Israel fall, do you think America will be okay?
yes.
Good.
Well, if Israel falls, the last thing they'll do is glass the Middle East. They got nukes.
Because I think Israel run America. That's just me.
No,
that's
for
just
sure.
me.
United States of Israel.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what I be thinking. I always felt like that.
So B, that's kind of what we started with.
Okay.
Taru said the United States of Israel. I said we're Israel's bitch. And I
Oh,
mean,
facts.
I got a video, Netanyahu, literally since 1993, saying that Iran was weeks away from having a nuke. Since 1993, he's been saying this.
No.
How many weeks since 1993 can you be this close to getting it? Like
34 years, guys. All of y'all, we don't have to be nuclear scientists to know it don't take 34 years to get a nuke.
And listen, this is on video. Like I literally have it. Literally, and every time they literally clipped it. Every time he said this for 30 straight years. They're weeks away. They're months away. We got to do something. It's like, come on, dog.
And just to be clear, guys, I want y'all to make sure, however you guys might have voted, do not let the Warhawks define timelines when it comes to Iran, because they love pointing to the 1979 revolution, but none of them likes to start the timeline in 1953 when our country launched a coup in Iran. Their democratic elected leader. And I want y'all to understand 1953. We only had 48 stars on the flag. Hawaii and Alaska weren't even states yet. That's how long we've been meddling in Iran. Right? We've been meddling in Iran since as long as we've been engaged, been dealing with commies and the Red Scare and the Korean War and all that nonsense. That's how long we've been doing it, guys. And so, hey, Coach Ferg, how's it going, man? I want to keep this going before I bring you up and get your thoughts real quick. But I want you guys to understand, like, what it is we're actually dealing with. I'm gonna bring this map up again, BM, because Greater Israel, guys. When you actually look at what's going on and you look at the territorial gains they actually need realistically to pull this off, it makes sense why they went and bombed Iran. Because obviously, let's be clear, guys, ain't nobody giving them real problems in Iraq. They gonna run through them. Let's be clear, they've been bombing Lebanon forever, right? Hezbollah and everything like that. But Iran, why Iran is strategic is because the mountain ranges up north that extend all the way southeast, the Iranian highlands, right? Guys, this right here serves as literally a natural border wall. right? And why is this so important? Because you get the altitude for your anti-air defense systems, because who's your next door neighbor? Afghanistan and Pakistan. Two enemies of Israel. But do y'all see the problem? The further Israel expands, the more enemies they seem to run into. But that makes sense, right? So we know territory-wise, this is exactly why they need Iran, because Greater Israel, and I really don't want to touch into the ethnic homogeny going on, but Greater Israel land-wise requires them to control this. Also, they need to control aspects of the Mediterranean, and they need to control other areas like the Strait of Hormuz, which currently is severely restricted, under blockade. The U.S. Navy is going to town on the Iranian naval fleet, right? They just bombed, or they just destroyed another ship. And right now, guys, we are so connected that the Strait of Hormuz, you guys, billions upon billions upon billions of dollars flows through this little gap. Right now, yeah, what's up, Brian?
Yeah, I'm not educated on this fully. So as of right now, who do you think, or who do y'all think that's I know war is never a winning game, but so
Yeah.
are you saying Iran has the kind of like the upper hand right now?
Iran in this situation would be the inferior opponent. What they have is the abilities to create choke points like this on strategic logistic lines.
Yep.
All right. So a lot of the times, right, because when we're talking about the Middle East, Brian, there's a lot of religious aspects into it, but remember, it's all oil and gas, right? And so some of the pipelines have already been shut down and restricted. Some of the oil pipelines, Brian, that run straight into Europe. And so just like we're having our gas prices starting to go up over here, they've already had their heating and gas bills go up, because obviously being actually connected to the landmass, it's way more, they're going to feel the effects far more earlier than we will.
Basically,
this has real world. I mean, this goes beyond the Middle East right now, because
it does.
Russia was up against the ropes in this Ukraine thing, running out of money. The sanctions were working, and now guess where Europe is going to be buying their oil from? They're going to be buying it from the Russians.
But guess
so
what?
they about to get all this money so they can keep the war going.
DL, you're absolutely correct, but worse than that. That means places like India and China are going to continue buying it from the Russians, because they ain't got no choice. And because the oil prices are going up, that just funds their war in Ukraine that much longer.
Also, you look at it, I mean, I think what it is also, it's about also control of the Suez Canal and the Straits of Hormuz. I think it's basically also controlling those waterways to make it easier to get in and out when they need to.
Yep. That you guys got to remember. So we got the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has notoriously controlled forever. And then also down here, because obviously you're going to have more control of the Mediterranean if you get your idealistic Nile River. But you got to deal with the Houthis, who are always causing problems all up and down here. Right. And just to end this off with the map aspect, because that's a little, we're getting a little technical sometimes. Just real quick, guys, I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to look at Turkey. Let's see, where are we at?
Right there, Turkey, right there. Further up,
specifically Samandag and Kali. And the reason why I'm going to highlight that is because I want y'all to see this video before I get y'all thoughts. BM. You there? Oh, there it is. All right.
A new Turkish threat is emerging. I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran. Erdogan is sophisticated, dangerous, and he seeks to encircle Israel. And while some senior Israelis were on Qatar's payroll, Qatar and Turkey are nourishing the Islamic Brotherhood monster that is growing and eventually might become as dangerous as the one created by Iran. Turkey and Qatar are gaining influence not only in Syria, but also in Gaza, through the front door, and everywhere, and trying to create a new choke ring. Turkey is trying to flip Saudi Arabia against us and establish a hostile Sunni axis with nuclear Pakistan.
So the reason I bring that up, and Coach Ferg, I'm going to bring you in. The reason I bring that up is because, guys, Turkey is a NATO country. So if Israel and Turkey get into a conflict, Turkey can invoke Article 5 of the NATO Constitution, which requires its NATO allies to come to its defense. Guess who's the #1 country in NATO? The United States. Guess who's Israel's #1 ally? The United States. Quite the pickle. Boy, oh boy, how we gonna deal with that one? Coach
Well,
Ferg,
you know how they're gonna deal with it. Oh, my bad, but real quick, they're gonna kick Turkey out of NATO. There's been movements in the past to get rid of Turkey. Turkey's never been playing by the rules that America wants to play by.
Well,
so
the
the Turks
EU
are not going to
tolerate-
let the Israelis. Yeah, the Turks aren't going to let the Israelis do what they're trying to do.
Well, the EU tolerate. The EU, with all their problems, been still trying to get friendly with Turkey, with all the problems they've had.
But think about it, Turkey is the only European country where the majority of the population practices Islam. And that's why a lot of people don't have issues with Turkey for that reason. So that's basically what it is. But you need more than I think they still need what? They need a majority or a unanimous vote in order to kick Turkey out of NATO. I'm trying to figure out how that works.
Yeah, you need everybody to sign off on kicking Turkey out of NATO.
And guess what?
And that's not
that's what I said.
Yeah.
You're gonna have, of course, you're probably gonna have the United States say, yeah, they gotta go. But Canada may say, nah, they stay. Then what?
Coach Ferg, how you doing, man?
How y'all doing, man? Can you hear me pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Turn my mic up, man. Listen, man, I don't know when y'all joined the military, right? But a lot of things have changed. You know, have y'all heard of, y'all remember, I know JD does, my brother, remember when they had the contraband selling the arms to Iran, when we were actually selling Iran our arms, right? Y'all was probably kids and stuff, right? But again, this is the play, man. This is what they do. We take our technology after we shoot all these little missiles and build it back up. And those people who are displaced, they come into those new apartments where y'all live at. Them new fancy apartments they rebuild. They ain't for what they always do. And America's done this for years. This is nothing new. Now, I would think, you know, since y'all former military, some of y'all could probably go back and fight these, you know, y'all put your boots on, you know, but again, this is nothing new. We haven't declared war since the 1940s, since World War II, I believe it is. It's interesting to see what would happen over the next 3 to 5 years. We have our Olympics coming here in 28, so it's going to be interesting to see how we continue to move. We've met our military numbers across all forces over the past year, so somebody's joining these forces, right? I don't know how many black kids are joining, but somebody's joining, and we know how veterans of the modern era are treated once served. You're going to get what you need, but just to the region, this is the play of America. There's minerals in those mountains that we need. There's things in those places that we need. America can't go from the east because you have people that are aligned with those countries. And now that Israel's sort of the centerpiece that going in the middle of all this, there was a time where Israel couldn't get into a war because Iran and Iraq would become allies, and a lot of countries who were allies under the Geneva Convention would have to sort of choose a side. And this is where we are. This is where we are. I'm not surprised by it. But again, this is something that I saw when I went to the Gulf War. They were talking about these things then in 1990. And here we are. You know, America has nothing else to offer, and we need resources because we like to be lazy in America. Let's be honest.
Well, here's the thing, Coach. Like honestly, I wish that was true, because then that means our U.S. officials actually has some sort of reason to go to war. Coach, they not going to war for minerals in the Eastern Mountains in Iran, right? We're going to war because Israel made us go into war, Coach.
Well,
we can't even, Coach, respectfully, we can't even get people to buy the Venezuela oil we just stole. We can't even get to buy that from us. So what are we going to do? What is Trump going to do with a bunch of minerals he don't know nothing about? He don't even know where that crap's located.
But y'all said it before. It's about the oil. It's always been about the oil. The oil in those regions, I remember, and this is, I'll say this and I'll shut up. When I went to the Gulf War, oil was 40 something. It was 13 cents a gallon in those areas, right? Today it's like $1.57 today, and they oil just went up to. I mean, the gas price of gas. Well, it's $1.40 something cent per gallon in those countries, right? So inflation over the last 40 years has changed the price, but again, as long as they have oil, it ain't gonna be what y'all think.
Coach Ferg, I wish you were right. I really do wish he was right. But the reason America has always kept Israel out of the fight when we had a fight with someone in the Middle East, right? The reason is what's going on now. Like the war we fought, the coalition. Remember, we had to protect Israel. Like who was the first people that Saddam bombed? Where did the Scuds go? Straight to Israel. And we had to keep Israel out of the fight because we'd have lost our coalition. This time, like Trump, again, I'm not saying the man is stupid or anything like that. He just doesn't care. To him, it's all about his money. How much money has his family made, right? The deals that were made before this happened. Like, think about that. His sons were over there and his son-in-law over there killing it right now, right? So that's all Trump cares about. The Israelis know this. Bibi knows this. And he's using this Jedi mind trick thing to get America committed to a war. Trump thought that MAGA would back him, and now, Trump's about to do his taco thing. He's trying to figure out a way to get out, I believe, but there's no off-ramp.
Yeah, guys, we got to remember, there are way easier places to go get oil right now. There is way easier places. On top of, our country is producing a record amount of oil.
I believe you called us one of them.
We got oil right there in Venezuela, guys.
It ain't that good oil. It ain't that good oil. We want the good oil.
Can y'all hear me?
But hey,
Mandro.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Get you, Mandro.
Just to add to what Terry said, let's not forget that America has been a net exporter of oil since about 97.
Yes.
We sell oil.
Check your DMs, Tyrus.
You know what I'm saying? So we sell oil. So it's not a short of oil on our part. You got to remember, all of GWAT. What oil did we get?
Great, right there.
None. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get anything out of that. Not really. We occupy some land now, but that's about it.
Yep.
We expanded the empire. That's all we did. We didn't get anything out of it.
We ain't getting nothing out of it.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, my thing is, stop putting fuel to the fire of this narrative that we are allies with Israel. We are not allies with Israel. There's never in the history of anything where there's been a formal alliance signed between the United States and Israel. Not once ever, still to this day. We got
Mandrell,
one.
you mean when they attacked the Liberty, Mandrell? That was just an accident, Mandrell. When they attacked the Liberty,
they didn't mean it. They really didn't. Somebody slipped. Some of us was asleep at the wheel, man. But we took care of him. He's fired. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's amazing, this whole thing. But not really amazing. It's par for the course, really. I mean, he's not like the current administration. Look at how hard they're trying to cover up pedophiles. How the amount of effort they use. It was what time have you went? All right, there he is. Okay,
he there. He listening. He listening.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm about to say. Yes, look at how hard they're trying to fight to protect pedophiles. And that whole that fiasco that Pam Bondi did in that Senate hearing. Stop the madness. It was dead. If it wasn't dead before that, it's dead now. After that. Okay. So this whole thing with Israel happening. Who's surprised, really? I think people are more frustrated than anything else because this is something we didn't want. And when Trump ran, he said that this is not what he was going to do. Now he's pissed off that he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. And you wonder why.
She gave it to him, though. She gave it to him.
That don't count.
That don't count.
It don't count because they don't have his name on it. That's
and
why.
The thing is, you got to remember
that FIFA Peace Prize he got.
I think part of his frustration with the Peace Prize is that Obama got one. And he's not going to get one.
Exactly.
Because Obama got one in his first term. You know what I'm saying? And so he wants to beat Obama. That's what he wants to do because Obama roasted him. You remember that time?
Yes.
He remembers. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Obama roasted him.
Correspondence
dinner. Yep. And that same night was the night he was killed Osama bin Laden while he was roasting Trump. I was like, how cold can you be? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and he got Nobel Peace. He's trying to beat Obama because just to thumb his nose up at him. He is just that childish and immature. He is an extremely immature person.
You should be ashamed of yourself, not
the plaques that he put up in the White House didn't tell you that?
Right. Exactly. And this whole thing that he's trying to do with taking like the black monuments out of museums and the slavery exhibits out of museums. It's like, okay, bro, like the writing's on the wall here. I mean, he's not. At this time, people can't really complain who voted for him because he told you what he was going to do.
True.
He didn't lie about that. I mean, about that part with the whole thing with the what you call those, the illegals. Yeah, he told y'all what he was going to do. I mean, so and this whole thing with Israel, he said on the campaign trail, we got to take care of our friends in Israel. We got to do that. And me, I'm like, why? Okay, they spy on us. They actively spy on us all the time. When we catch the Chinese, and we catch them all the time, I personally hear about 4 to 5 of them a week. Per week, I personally.
Yeah, big on the news at least 4 or 5 times a year. The big ones on the news of a Chinese national still in
right. And I think it's me personally. I get phone calls. I'm on the phone with people 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm hearing about us catching Chinese nationals spying. You know what I'm saying? Now me. Not even in the military anymore. If I'm hearing about it, like think about how many more is out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? So Israel, the Chinese get caught, they get arrested, and God knows what happens to them. Okay, Israelis get caught, they get sent back home sometimes. Other times they just get a talking to. Hey, don't do that no more. Okay, no problem, and they go home. Literally, like here where they live here, they just send them home. They release them. They don't do anything to Israeli spies when they catch them. We do catch them, but they don't do anything to them. You know what I'm saying? So
I wonder why.
It's yeah. I don't know what Israel has on Trump. What he's been, what he's doing, and what's in the Epstein files on him. I don't know what's in there, but whatever it is, holy shit.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about.
Honestly, I think.
I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna finish this block, and then let's talk about.
Yeah, and please don't put Mike Huckabee back on here no more, man.
No.
Okay.
But guys, U.S. embassies, the consulates, other facilities are being relentlessly attacked all over the region as we speak. We've already gone over the Strait of Hormuz. It's been severely restricted, and just recently, Trump announced that the U.S. Navy is willing to escort tankers through the strait while attacks on both sides continue. So look for, like we talked about, look for the price of oil and gas to further increase here at home.
Yes,
the conflict goes on abroad. Also, look for the oncoming refugee crisis that will once again primarily affect European countries, despite having very little to do with the current conflict taking place. But more importantly, and most unfortunate of all, guys, look for the bloodshed to continue. And this can't be stated enough. Every life lost in this conflict is unnecessary. I'm gonna go open it up to you guys. What are your thoughts overall? What we've been talking about, man?
Just real quick, man. We got a lot of vets. We got a lot of vets on the panel, man. And I've been thinking about this a lot. I wish we would change the laws to where if the politicians decide to go to war, they hand it off to the military, and the politicians can't do anything, can't say anything. It's sick them. And the military goes, does what the military does, and then comes back and it's over. They remove the politician influence because what's going on right now is completely useless. I mean, it never happened, but I mean,
I know
that's the thing that frustrates. Yeah, it frustrates me the most because we have so many people out here. Like I talk about this, I'm like, this is unnecessary. We shouldn't be doing this. Not one American life is worth whatever's going on in Iran. And I understand, ladies, I understand the atrocities that happen to women over there. But ladies, y'all not even talking about what happened to the little boys in that region of the world. I don't think women realize what they do to little boys over there in that region.
They don't
so,
know.
you know, it's like,
Yeah,
so my thing is, I get it. It's terrible. But if the Iranians wanted a new government, they would get a new government. They did it already. They know how to do it. And I just keep telling people, and they get, you know, I see the stupid people in the chats or whatever. I'm like, bro, y'all think I'm anti-war? If we're going to go, we should go and win. And the only way to win this thing is you got to take the country. And we're not about to do that. We can't do it with the Kurds. It's not enough Kurdish boots to put on the ground to take that country. You can't do it with the Israelis. So, I mean, that's what frustrates me the most.
Yeah. And but I want to be clear here for everybody in this panel. War, I am absolutely anti-war. I am 100% against this. This shit needed to end yesterday. For God's sake, it needs to end tomorrow. We are supposed to be supposedly the most powerful country in the world. We tell Israel what to do with our taxpayer money, not the other way around. That's my stance.
Well, my stance is this: I'm not anti-war at all.
Yeah, me neither.
It has to be for the right reasons, though. This is not one of them. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm against this. This is ridiculous. There's no point. We have no supporting Ukraine. I'm sorry, Ukrainian people, but that's not my problem. I'm not a Republican at all. But I am America first. This is my home. This is where I live. As fucked up as it may be or may not be in some people's eyes, it's still my home. It's the same thing like, you know, you got a little brother or sister. You'll join them all day long, hurt the feelings, make them cry, all that, but let somebody else do it. An outsider. You know what I'm saying? No, that's that ass, right? So, yeah, I'm America first. If it benefits America, okay, but you can't. You have to be more strategic. So, like, if we take out, say, Jordan, right? Like we took out Saddam Hussein. Look at what happened to the Middle East. And the Middle East, America's never going to let the Middle East be at peace, because as long as the Middle East is in turmoil and in chaos, the United States and the United Kingdom are going to come up there and scoop up all the resources. It has to make it. It's too rich. The same thing with Africa. It's too rich. You have to keep it unstable. You cannot let it stabilize if you want to stay on top. Because here's why they killed Gaddafi. Because I was thinking about, Gaddafi had the same idea I had a while ago when I was in the army. And I was like, you know what? If 3 of these countries, just 3 of them came together and made one country, made their own currency, and weighed the value of their currency against their natural resources, the American dollar is overnight. And it can't catch up to that. So Gaddafi comes up with this same idea, and he had to go. You know what I'm saying?
America knows these things already. They had these conversations 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They know that these things could happen within these countries. That's why they go over talking.
That's why they keep them unstable, right?
They tell everybody a different story, and the whole time they're not even trying to get the resources. I remember going to the Gulf War real quick, and the king offered every soldier an extra $1,000, and Bush said no. We went over and took all our technology.
They took that money.
He turned it
we
down.
Got that medal. We get
well,
that.
He turned down the money for us.
I'm talking.
I'm
I heard-
1990. I don't know when y'all joined. I joined in 1990, a couple months before the Gulf War. When I found that out, I was boots on the ground in Saudi Arabia, running along that Persian Gulf Strip that y'all just showed. I was doing PT on that mother. And I used to go to breakfast with a lot of generals. And they used to talk about a lot of things. We sit next to each other. And my first sergeant was real open about things that were going on. And he used to come back from those meetings and it just changed my whole life. But what I'm trying to say is that part of the world is always, again, it's always going to be in play how America moves. It's always going to be in play. There's things that we need. And America's going to go to each side whenever they believe that it's fitting for them.
It's time
and
for the
give
cycle.
them the message. So
But the thing is,
like respect,
almost. But this,
the repeated cycles that we the repeated cycles that we get ourselves into in this country. I'm tired of. Well, this is how it's gonna be. This is the way. No, it doesn't have to be that way.
Well,
it's
Tyrone,
always going to be that way.
Here's the thing.
Real quick,
It's
just
so
real quick.
just
Just
when a lot of people say, "Well, we've
Hey,
been
Ferg.
knowing these. We've had all this information for years." Well, then why do we keep voting for the motherfuckers who want to get us into it?
Because you don't
No
have
matter
the
who you vote
information.
for, Democrats and Republicans,
They
senators
do.
over
Like
there.
use some critical thinking.
It doesn't matter who you vote for, bro. They both owned by the same 1%. Democrats and Republicans sent it to the same sandbox. And here's the thing, Coach Ferg. Coach
Then
Ferg.
we need to change
Hold
it.
on. Just real quick. Coach Ferg. Bush kept that money. All we got was that Kuwaiti medal with a little bit of gold in it. I hope you still got yours. I still got mine. Bush kept that money.
Yeah, and the soldier, and a soldier never saw a dime of it. And to what you were saying, DL. Hold on, one quick second.
Guys. I'm sorry, but respectfully, this panel on this show, we will not be doing "This is how it always been" in both sides, because at the beginning of this show, I specifically told y'all this problem was solved by Obama in 2015. The Iranian nuclear deal with multiple countries signed off on that, including China, including Russia. The only country that did not sign off on that deal, Israel. So I'm tired of this. Both sides are to blame. No, one side fixed this problem. The other side in 2018 put us back into the problem. Stop making excuses.
The variable that you're missing out on this is Tarus, is something I said. It's something I said earlier. Okay, it depends on the administration. Okay, you have a president in there now who's trying to upstage Obama, who did in fact fix this problem. You are correct, and I agree. But he's mad he ain't getting Nobel Peace Prize, but Obama did. He was mad that Obama was president and he wouldn't. The whole thing. Okay. Now to what DL was saying, DL, the reason why they don't do it like that is because think about it. We had Delta Force had Afghanistan won in 2 weeks. No bullshit, no lie. That is not an exaggeration at all. 2 weeks, Delta Force had Afghanistan done and in the books. There was no need for Rangers, no need for Marines, and everyone else is kind of, especially the SEALs, they're pretty worthless. But the Navy, you guys are pretty worthless, Tommy. But Delta Force had it won, okay? In 2 weeks, they had Osama bin Laden. That ass was done. But if you do it that way, if you let the Army and the military, including the Navy, do their jobs, okay, then the blank check never gets cut. You know what I'm saying? You let seriously. Here's the thing. I know I'm talking trash, but if you cut the reins off and you got a maritime problem, you set the Navy out there. It's done in a couple of hours.
Yep. That's facts.
It's done, like seriously, and like, if I'm being honest about it, the Navy, come on, you're not messing with our Navy. You're not touching it. Nowhere near it. You're laughable. Okay? But that blank check never gets cut. Halliburton and KBR, they don't get their infinite contracts. You know what I'm saying? War is a business. And as long as it remains a business, and it will remain a business, you're not going to have people to get there and get it done. It's just too much money in it. And Tarus, I get what you're saying, man, but you're dealing with a guy who really does have no business being president.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He said a bunch of stuff that I agreed with,
and that's
but
what
that
pissed me off, Mandrell.
but that's the thing. Like even me, I agree with some of the stuff he said on the campaign trail, but did I have confidence that he was going to get any of it done? Not really.
The only one.
Not really. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, Mandrell. This doesn't apply to you, but am I the only one who doesn't take somebody who was found liable for sexual assault at his word? Am I the only one who doesn't take the guy who was best friends with Epstein at his word?
No.
I mean, for God's sakes, you guys talking about you believe Trump. Epstein was arrested and died in 2019 when Trump was president.
This is America.
Why would you do that, Beyond? FBI, handpicked. CIA, handpicked. DOJ, handpicked. He had the Epstein files a whole year and a half before he had to get out. And by the way, he didn't get out peacefully. Remember January 6th, guys?
Mm-hmm.
He lied about that shit too. But let me guess. Hey, man, the election could have been fraud.
It wasn't.
It could have
Nah.
been.
It wasn't.
Mandrell, we got to release the Kraken. That's what conservatives said.
But he's not the Kraken.
But Mandrell, that's the point. Why are we believing known liars? Why do I got grown ass men believing a dude who covers up sexual assault of minors by pedophiles?
But
What
Tarus, they're
in
all
God's
Tarus.
name would you believe that?
They're all liars, bro. They're all liars, man.
No, stop.
Every last one of them.
Liars. You're not going to pull the all liars because Biden was not held liable for sexual assault. Obama wasn't held liable for sexual assault. Kamala Harris wasn't held liable for sexual assault. And all of y'all in the YouTube universe miss me with Bill Clinton because I was 5 years old when he became president.
Oh, I can talk to you about that. I can talk to you about that.
Everybody in my generation, none of my leaders were found liable for
I was in high school when Clinton came into office.
Right, listen, I love Bill Clinton.
I was 5 years old, bro. I don't know nothing about Clinton.
I can tell you about it. I can tell you about it. Here's the thing. I actually did security for the Clintons, right? I actually met them and like got to know them and everything, the whole nine. First of all, they're two completely different people. Hillary and Bill, two completely different people. That is obviously a fake marriage, always has been. Bill Clinton is super fucking cool. You talk about a president you can have a beer with. Yes, that is him. I didn't understand the whole thing. People said he was all charismatic, stuff like that before.
You have more than a beer, homie.
He really does. Look. Exactly. He lied. Now, he was a liar. He lied when he said he puffed but didn't inhale. He still smokes weed, okay? The thing is, look, and he's a total pussy hound. Total pussy hound. Seriously. Like he is. Like, so the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, after I met them, I was like, oh, I'm not surprised. But at the same time, with Hillary, it's like, yo, y'all clearly can't sleep in the same bed. Clearly, clearly you don't. You know what I'm saying? But they did that whole thing of the Monica Lewinsky thing. That was a step to try to get Clinton impeached and out of office because they disagreed with some of the things he was doing. You know what I mean? But where they wrapped him up and had him by the balls at is when they had nothing on him and he pushed his agenda anyway and it was time to sign. They said, okay, listen, there's some things you got to give us, like this crime bill and all that nonsense, because that's when prisons actually became a business. Prison became a business like after that. And that's why to this day, Bill Clinton is the only person who had anything to do with it, who has the dignity to apologize for it and admit that it was wrong. And he said if he could go back and undo it, he wouldn't do it if he can go back and do it again.
Because I remember that. I remember that.
Right. Right. But they did that to try to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? That's what that whole, and it wasn't with an underage person like Trump and everybody else.
But you remember in 2004 when Howard Dean got kicked out the DNC primary for his little yell on stage?
For the squeal? Yeah, for the squeal.
I wish we could go back to those.
I think it was something like that.
I remember that. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hold up. But the thing about Clinton also, they tried to get him on was Whitewater, and I remember they were like looking for anything to go after him. They were thinking, oh, the Clintons profited off it. No, it was just a bad real estate deal. Like the Republicans pushed that situation so bad, Vince Foster took his own life because that's how much it bothered him. It bothered Vince Foster so much, and they got on him so bad, he took his own life. And the thing was, people forget what happened in 94 was the midterms, the contract with America that Newt Gingrich pushed and everything else. That's how he got the gavel to become the Speaker of the House. That's how the GOP regained control of the House for the first time in over a generation. They were looking for any reason to get rid of Clinton because he was approachable. He was charismatic. He was not afraid to say, okay, I messed up, but so on and so forth. But they were looking for any reason.
And the thing is, Anton, they got rid of his vice president, and look at the shit show ever since.
But here's the thing with that. Now, Al Gore, here's the problem with Al Gore. Al Gore took the money. This is something I know from firsthand information. Okay, Al Gore took the money. It's as simple as that. He won that election. Tommy, you old enough to remember that. Al Gore won that election. Coach Ferg, DLC, all of us up here. We're old enough to remember that. Al Gore won that election clean and clear, but he took the money. He took
get
the
them
money.
Hagen Chads out the way. Couldn't get them Hagen Chads out the way.
And so, Tarus, it's as messed up it is. Here's how politics work. Like, say someone approaches you to run for office. Again, first-hand information.
No, I know.
Tarus, you are a veteran, right?
I know how that works.
A veteran. You're a veteran, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what other state? Look, you want to run for politics? I can get you in there, man. We can fund your campaign the whole nine. Now, here's the thing. You can run. Here's the thing, Tarus. You can run for governor. Here's the thing. You can run for. Here's what got me when it really punched me in the face. It's like you can run for governor as a Republican or the Senate as a Democrat. I'm like, in my mind, I was like, the fuck? I don't really have a choice. Well, he's telling me I can either run for governor. Listen to that. You can either run for governor as a Republican or then the Senate as a Democrat.
Hey, look, all I want out of politics, man.
You hear what I'm saying? Do you know
hold
what
on.
that
I just
means?
want my portfolio. I want my portfolio to perform as nicely as McConnell's or Pelosi's. That's all I want. Just let me go ahead.
See
You know what I'm saying? Invest my $1,000, turn it into $8.5 million.
There it is.
Get you some penny stock.
People take the money. That's what does it. That's what does it.
Fine,
That's
man,
what
bro,
does. People
but-
take the money.
But the people but there's millions upon millions of voters who do not get that offer, and thus do not have to look at it from that perspective.
The real thing,
the
the real tough part also,
perspective of the average American was, you saw Trump try to escalate war with Iran in 2018 when he pulled us out of the Iranian nuclear deal.
Which was
You
dumb.
saw that this man is trying to been escalating tensions in the Middle East since his first term, and yet if you decided to take him at his word when he said no new wars, the dummy is you.
That's true. Because I agree with you.
Like, that's all well and good, and I agree with you, bro.
I gotta say this. If you're a Christian, if you call yourself a Christian, a conservative Christian, in your secular government is using biblical texts, citing biblical doctrine to start an unprovoked war in the Middle East, take your ass back to the recruiting office, because I'm not sending my secular children. Send your good Christian children to go die for your Lord and Savior like the Bible commands. You see, you guys keep telling me, oh, well, this is how politics works. This is how politics works. Well, I'm telling you how it works from us in the ground when we either signing up for the military or trying to avoid that. Because guess what, Mandrell? The average American does not get offered whether we get to run as a senator or governor.
True.
Okay, you know what the average American got to deal with? The fact that gas is about to go up $1 for another stupid ass war in the Middle East. The fact that 6 soldiers are coming back in boxes that didn't have to.
See, I agree with you. I agree with all that, Tarus. I agree with every word you're saying. I do, because I agree with every word he's saying.
You heard what I said in the beginning.
Right now, I'm pressed because we keep repeating the same damn mistakes. Guys, let's just say half the money, if you can imagine the trillions of dollars we spent in the Middle East. Let's just say half of that was actually spent here in America. What would our country look like?
A whole lot better.
Tron.
Hey, the soybean farmers will have health care.
It'll look like Tron.
Yeah.
All the seats with the lights and shit, like in the future.
Yep.
Beautiful, man.
Here's the thing. Tarus.
Lynn lives, man.
They got universal health care. The country that's telling us what to do, they got free college. The country that's telling us what to do, they ain't got potholes in their highways. The country that's telling us what to do, they got upgraded infrastructure. Do you guys not see what the problem is? Is that our country, our people is used as nothing more than cattle. Our GDP, what we generate, is being used to defend Israel at the detriment to our country.
But Tarus,
yeah,
whose fault is that? Tarus, that's the fault of the American people. That's the fault of the American people. If you want to turn this thing around, I'm just saying you're preaching to the choir. If you want to turn this, if you want to turn this thing around, right? You got to take all the political money, all that dirty money out of politics. It's clean money now, right? Citizens United got to go, and you need term limits. If you want to turn it around, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
You know what, DF? Let's look for Newt Gingrich's office. Let's look for his old desk that he was using while he was in Congress and see if he still has that referendum in there. Because if I remember, he was trying to pass a referendum to put term limits in for those who were members of Congress.
Yeah.
But decided to put that in the drawer once the GOP regained control of the House and he got the gavel.
By the way, guys, I don't know if y'all just saw about an hour or two ago, war resolution to limit the powers of Trump and Iran failed in the Senate.
Even if it passed, it wouldn't matter. You think? I mean, Trump doesn't listen to the Supreme Court. You think he's going to listen to the Congress? Come on, bro.
He's only going to use the two words that he loves to use:
like,
executive order.
I mean, like this is the problem. Oh, this is the problem. We keep going. Well, Trump don't fucking care. Well, then make him care. And then if you can't make him care, you're telling me we need to burn this motherfucker to the ground, because clearly we all agree up here, laws are only as good as you're willing to enforce them, correct? Well, if we're not willing to enforce the law, then what's the point?
You have anarchy.
Hey, listen here. Hey, judge. Hey, hold on, real quick, because some of us got to go before the judge soon. Hey, y'all, that's him saying that. I'm not violent at all, Your Honor. So when I get in there, prosecution, I was just on the panel. All right, I'm a veteran. Y'all need. I'm just on the panel.
What was not Billy, huh, DL?
And the thing is, the Trump DOJ is a joke. You talk about back and forth. They're just as wishy-washy on the fence and back and forth as Trump is. Pam Bundy and Kash Patel, why they haven't been fired? I can't wrap my head around it.
We already know why.
I can't wrap my head around why they have not been fired. Like, you're pissing on people and telling them it's rain. Like, and I think that's what's upsetting people the most. I think people expect politicians to lie to them to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think they expect them to be like, hey, listen, remember that thing I said I was going to do? Yeah, fuck you. People don't expect you to do that. Just flat out, you know what I'm saying? Just flat out in your face.
Remember,
I thought you was going to do this.
Well, remember, Mandrell, Trump, and y'all know I don't like this guy. But in Trump's first term, he ain't tolerate that bullshit, did he? Yo,
it was the people around him, though, bro.
Exactly. He had people guiding him. He had people advising him.
He had real people around him.
Or that dude, I'm sorry, Scaramucci. Yeah. Go ahead, Dio.
But he had people around him to push back. He don't have anybody to push it back now. But Tarus, what's going to happen in November? The American people, before America burns it all down, I think they're going to come vote first. I mean, if they can vote, that's another thing. That's another thing. Will there be some sort of martial law? Something, you know what I mean? Will
suspend habeas corpus, martial law?
Because he's trying to push that agenda to make it where you have to have like some kind of federal ID or something like that, like an
15
official
forms of
identification.
ID.
Yeah, an official form of ID to vote this time around, or whatever the case may be. He's trying to pull nonsense to rig elections in his favor, and it's just again, it's the in your face stuff. It's like, dude, you're not even trying. Like, that's my thing with me. I'm like, you're not even trying. All politicians are liars because they have to be. That's the nature of the job. You're gonna promise people something. You're gonna overpromise. You're going to do that because you're gonna have things your way to prevent you from doing everything that you want to do. Okay, so you're gonna overpromise. Okay, some politicians just flat out lie, and people expect that. But for you to just give the middle finger to all of your constituents, there's no border wall. Okay, prices of everything are going up instead of going down, especially groceries. Okay, I mean, like,
But to
okay,
Roos,
hold on. I know. Hold on. DL does a lot of content on the housing market and a bubble and all this stuff, but there's that same bubble in the car industry, automobiles. And it's bigger. It's automobiles. It's like, okay, and then 60,000 jobs. Really, nationwide? That's putting a dent in it. Like, he's clearly fudging these numbers with the jobs reports. Those are clearly lies.
I mean,
those are
buy now, pay later. Truce, real quick, Truce, what are your thoughts on buy now, pay later?
Because because the last time, if I remember, the person that was supposed to put out that job report, he fired him because he didn't like what he put out, and he was telling the truth.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of Jay Powell, right? And because he wants Jay Powell to lower interest rates, and Jay Powell keeps telling him, listen, I can't do that right now. The jobs report, there are not enough jobs out there for that. We need to go through a little bit more pain because you got us into this because of COVID. And people like to forget that Donald Trump was in office when that shutdown happened. Okay, yes. Okay, so it's like, okay, yeah, inflation is a bitch, dude. You can't lower interest rates right now. You got to get the job numbers up. But he's listening to corporations. And corporations want to continue to export jobs. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying, as opposed to bringing them here so people can actually work. What they could do is bring the munitions industry back here. Because let's be honest, if we got into a conventional war, we're not prepared for that, with a near peer adversary. But the argument can be made that we don't have any near peer adversaries because we're more powerful than the next 17 most powerful countries in the world. We're still more powerful than that.
Mandro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mandro. Trump told his supporters last year, if you still care about the Epstein files, you're stupid. And he doesn't need your support. His words.
Mm-hmm.
And they still support him after all that nonsense.
I don't understand it. I don't understand.
This is the lack of critical thinking that I'm talking about. And we got to talk to some people in circular logic. For example, BM, can you please bring this chat up from the MD20? Because it comes off in good faith, but good God, this is critical thinking that I'm talking about in comprehension. Y'all think this is about Citizens United and term limits is the answer? It's bigger than government. Follow the money. If y'all can't disrupt the flow, y'all just talking. Bigger than government. Follow the money. What was Citizens United MD20 fucking money? That is us following the money. Jesus Christ.
That's cutting off the flow.
You're telling me we need to burn this motherfucker to the ground. like God damn.
Boy, check your blood pressure, man. Check your blood pressure, bro.
You don't get heart attacks. He gives them. You know that.
Following the money. Citizens United. That is part of it. MD20. There is never one thing that will solve the problem. There has been multiple reasons that get us into a problem, and it's going to take multiple solutions to get us out. So one of the things is to follow the money. That includes Citizens United. Another thing we can do is term limits. You see how that stacks up together?
But that's real talk.
You're telling me we need to burn this motherfucker to the ground.
That's real talk, though. That's serious. America can't think beyond the one trick, the one fix. That's how most Americans think. Like, bro, we didn't get here overnight. You ain't gonna get out of this overnight.
Exactly.
But here's the thing: what you said about the MAGA people. They did that Epstein thing, man. That did draw a line in the sand. They started to lose support there. I mean, you heard what Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying about Trump. Like you heard her go off on that guy, man. They're coming away. I think Trump is going to get down to the SS hardcore MAGA, and that's all he's going to have. It's going to be like what, maybe 20% or less. That's all he's going to have, and he knows that's not enough to win the election.
He's going to have those oath keepers, those Proud Boys, and everything else.
Oh, go ahead, Anton, and then I'll go.
He's going to have the support of those oath keepers and those Proud Boys, and he don't care. The fact of the matter is, he's the type of person that likes to control the narrative, and he likes to spin it to make him look like he's the son of God, like he's the best thing since sliced bread. And also, if you think about it, look at the majority of his supporters. Colonizers, male colonizers. And I remember saying this on a panel before. It's gotten to a point where we may have to hit the reset button. But those colonizers don't want the that reset button hit, because they know if you start all over again, they have to start all over again. They've had this 400-year head start, and they're holding on to their privileges like a wino clutching his last bottle of whiskey.
Anton, I agree with you, but unfortunately,
They get too much money, brother.
The power play, they know we're too passive. We're too docile as a.
Well,
as
it's
a,
not
as,
even that.
Like, no. It is that, because guess what? We got a guy actively covering up the sex trafficking. Pam Bondi literally played in our face and lied under oath. You seen anybody storming the Capitol, DL? But they'll storm.
Here's my thing with the reset. I agree. I agree with the reset is coming and all that, but I mean, look at someone like Elon Musk, bro. Where'd that guy come from? He ain't
South
homegrown.
Africa.
He came over here. Exactly. He came over here, look at all that money he had. And here's the deal. If you take away 75%, if you take away 75% of Elon Musk's net worth right now, how much money do you think he'd be worth?
Still it's irrelevant, because that's how all their net worth is calculated.
$200 billion. You take away 75% of his net worth today, he's still, but that's my point to the reset. You can't reset. They still gonna have all the bread. You know what I mean? But that's all I'm saying.
So yes, there's going to be wealthy people that stay wealthy. DL, if that's your point, I agree with that. The problem is they can be wealthy without Citizens United being a thing. They can be wealthy.
I'm with you on that.
No, but I'm saying, but you guys keep going, well, the wealthy's always going to be wealthy. Like, we can't do shit about shit. And it's like, well, damn, if we can't do anything, we can't do anything about the wealthy, yet they can get Citizens United passed, but somehow we can't get that repealed. Right? It's like,
but we got to start in the streets.
But we as a collective keep falling for that. DL, and that was going back to my original point. You keep saying, well, his poll numbers started slipping with the Epstein, and then it went right back up.
No, but then he had a break with his own people. Like I said, you got Republicans. You got the Republicans who they're against that. Marjorie Taylor Greene and they're pushing back. I mean,
the same Republican Congress that is the most unproductive Congress in U.S. history. That Republican Party.
Here's the thing. DL is right, because there's one thing that that everyday common people can agree on. No matter what side of the aisle you sit on, most people can agree that you don't fuck with kids. Like most people, that's where they draw the line on all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Even weirdo states like California, and the fucko you got, what's his name? Tommy
Newsom?
No, yeah, Newsom, yeah. Dude, Tommy hates that dude, by the way. I don't blame him either. I ain't even from there, and I hate that dude.
Mandro, is that really true, Mandro?
What?
Because I got Megyn Kelly talking about, well, 15 is not really a child.
That's just.
I got states right now trying to lower the legal age of consent.
She's just saying that bullshit for TV.
Right. Well, I got states trying to lower the legal age of consent down to 14.
Let me guess. They're red states, correct?
But they're states, right, Anton?
Yeah, that's the sad part.
This is why I gotta constantly push back, because Mandro, I constantly push back on narratives all the time. Talk like guys talking about, man, if this guy ends up back in the street's gonna take care of him. We got so many scumbags, sexual offenders walking the streets freely. Ain't nobody taking care of them. We got a whole bunch of people, Mandrell, who knew Trump was best friends with Epstein. Mandrell, how many people voted for him in 2024?
A lot. But
knowing. So again, clearly, a lot of the things we say or we like to think isn't really applicable anymore. Like Mandrell, like right now, this is the real definition, not this respectfully to the manosphere. This is the OG definition of being red pill, is being awake, being aware to what the society, your reality is and isn't. And it sucks, Mandrell, because for the last year and some change, I have got to watch my fellow Americans who, Mandrell, I told my wife coming from Germany, hey, yo, our people are cool. Yo, we're going to get our shit together. Like everybody in America ain't that violent. Man, Mandrell, I put my wife, second day in Oklahoma, pop, 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 gunshots.
What are you doing in
First time she ever
Oklahoma?
heard gunshots in Germany, by the way, at least in her little area where she lived.
Yeah, but what are you doing in Oklahoma?
Right. I was stationed there, Fort Sill.
Fort Sill?
Oh,
yeah. Sure.
I was about to say,
But yeah,
That's why you so wound up, boy. It's Fort Sill.
Country isn't it? Isn't
storm chases and everything?
All
Field
the
artillery and shit.
The wealthiest country in the world, but in 2026 today, the top 10% covers 50% of our consumer spending, guys.
Yep.
Do y'all not understand that? And it's getting worse.
And they're slowing
Yeah,
down.
Our infrastructure is crumbling. I know y'all seen the bridges and some of the buildings that have been collapsed in the last couple of years. I know for a fact, just like you guys, we've had to dodge some potholes on our federal highway. On a freaking highway. We ain't got money for none of that shit, but we got money for another war in the Middle East.
Yeah, we got money
It's bad
for
when the alligators down here in Florida, man. No, we don't have money, Mandrell. We don't have money. Don't even go there, Mandrell. We don't have money.
What you said about the alligators on DL?
Well, down here,
the
the alligators.
It's just a matter of where we want to spend it. It's a matter of willpower and motivation.
We got monopoly money, Mandrell. Come on, we ain't got no real money. The dollar has no real value. But down here in Florida, you know it's bad when the alligators come out your swimming pool talking about you need to fix them walls on your swimming pool. Alligators won't even swim in it. Like, man, your wall's too messed up. You need to fix that. We about to go back to the swamp.
Hey, Tommy, that's a real thing down there in Florida, man. Alligators do come out of people's swimming pools and stuff.
Oh, you in your swimming pool?
I think we're all muted.
Yeah, we all. There we go.
They be wearing white beaters and everything.
Right, the alligators do just walking people's yards. It's a trip.
I was hot. Hey guys, thanks for coming up, man. Hey Tommy, what you got for us? Your final thoughts, man.
What I was going to say too is even speaking about the part of what we didn't talk about is even speaking about like the American dollar and the value dropping. You know, part of what Iran and Venezuela got together is they don't trade their oil in American dollars, and that was another angle of us going at both of those countries too. Is Trump is trying his best to try to hide the fact that the dollar is sinking and sinking fast.
Yep.
But that's it. I'm in school, but yeah, it's good to see y'all fellas.
Hey, good to see
Yeah,
you.
Tommy,
Always a pleasure to see you, Tommy.
Why you at work and online?
I'm in school, fool.
You ain't go. You talking no bullshit, me, man. You don't go to school.
I'm at school, fool. I'm in HVAC school. I graduated in May.
It is.
You say
Hey Tom, what you got for us?
Listen, I like talking up on panels with veterans and everything because we see things in a way most people don't see things, and if they don't get it, that's okay. But I feel like in a way we see things to where it just gets to a point that people got to wake up. People are too concerned about their small pocket, people that look like them and everything else. and they're not focusing on the whole entire picture. They're too much focused on this one little niche, and they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that one little niche is theirs, and everyone else, whatever. That's the problem. And I remember people were busting on Obama when he first got elected. What does he know about running a country? He's only a community organizer. You're right. And all he did was take this country and turn it into one big community. And that's been the problem for so long. We've taken something so big, and instead of trying to make it small and simple, we're making it bigger and bigger and bigger, and bigger doesn't always mean better. And people need to understand, we always say it's the small things. Maybe we start making things a lot smaller. It's a lot easier to see what's going on. Because now you can look at it from every angle in your hand and you know where to find the solutions. It's not that fucking hard. But when you have a demographic that's so used to making things more complicated, all they're going to do is those who have no idea how things work, it's easy to keep them under control. Plain and simple. So the best thing I tell people, stop looking at it as one big problem. Let's start looking at things as a shitload of small problems. That's all I got to say. And those are some words we're thinking about.
Thanks a lot, Anton. Thanks for coming up, man. DL Saint, my guy. What do you got for us?
What's happening? So, we're at the end of the road, guys. America is at the end of the road. Now it's time to shit or get off the pot, metaphorically speaking. And politically, Tarus, I agree with you. I agree with you, man. We're like 95% there. Like, we're there politically. You really want to make a change. I think the window of opportunity is hit here. Like, we know what's going to happen in 2026. I'm going on the premise that we're going to be voting. Like, so 2026 and 2028, we know what's going to happen, right? The big pendulum is coming. And whenever I get to the point where I'm ready to give up on our political system, stuff like New York happens, right? You look at Mamdani. I am not a democratic socialist. I want to throw that out there. But if the democratic socialists could get me free healthcare and free childcare, then okay, where do I sign up? And that's where most Americans are. The money that Mandrell 100% right about, we always come up with money for something, but I mean, where is our national debt right now, man? It's somewhere between 38 trillion and 40 trillion, right? It's got to be close to 40 trillion with what we're doing in the Middle East right now. It's got to be going up, right? So
go to 41.
That's monopoly money. That money is not getting paid back. That's monopoly money. This is why the rest of the world is not investing in the American Ponzi scheme anymore. What are all the central banks doing around the globe right now? They're buying gold. Who's buying the most gold? The United States of America. Even the central planners, the 1% understands the dollar is done. It's just a matter of time. So what we have to do, I believe, is start in the trenches, start in the streets. We're going to have to do something about Citizens United. We're going to have to do something about term limits. And right now, when you can see someone like Mamdani could get picked up, a guy who's barely polling 1%, turns around and becomes the mayor of the most liberal city on the planet. If that can happen in New York, you see what just happened in Texas last night. They had over, I think, doing a primary. This is the most people they ever had come out for primary votes. Like 2 million people plus came out in Texas last night. You got people in deep red states having a hard time holding on to their seats. Here's a window of opportunity right now to trust in the system, to trust in what the founding fathers foresaw way back when. We had one person, we got one guy who came in and he's basically doing a challenge to checks and balances. And it's time for legislative and it's time for judicial to push back. And judicial's already done their part. They pushed back a little bit. They showed it. They're not a rubber stamp, right? They shut down Trump's tariffs, right? They showed that. The American people are waking up. It's what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. Americans don't care about what's going on overseas. Americans don't care about who's using what bathroom, except for black men. Sorry, black man. I know you care about that. But the average American right now is trying to figure out how they're going to pay their rent, how they're going to pay their mortgage, how they're going to keep their house. Right? They're trying to figure out why did I sign up for that Klarna? Why am I making payments on my groceries, 4 installments on my groceries? They realize that the American dream has been stolen from them, stolen by the top, 10, 15% of earners. And the only thing keeping us afloat is AI, right? And the belief in the AI thing and the people at the very top. And what is AI doing? AI is taking away those last few remaining jobs. So America right now is forced to deal with it. They're trying to kick the can down the road. The can is bouncing off the wall, hitting them straight in their face. And I'm talking about the people, I'm talking about white folks. Black folks know how to deal with this, man. We all know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. We've been there, done that. But white folks are dealing with it now. So they are going to be really open to listening to taking the money out of politics. They're going to really want their neighbor Jim to go to DC so they can get these AI factories out of their town that's running up their electrical bills, right? They're really going to want to send Mary to DC so they can make sure FEMA has money because these storms are coming, right? So that's where we at right now, bro. And I'm down here in Florida. I'm here to tell you, man, take a look at what's going on down here in Florida, man. Drill will tell you, I've been calling this for as long as I've been living here. I'm like, bro, this is a real bubble. It's going to burst. And guess what? The market's turning right now. I think Florida is like, last time I checked, Florida was leading the country in foreclosures. Is your local news reporting that? Right? You look at what's going on with these corporations and all that outstanding debt that's out there right now. America and Charus, I got to get you on the platform, man, so we can talk about this. I can't wait for you to talk about these numbers, but I'm gonna leave it there. Let me land a plane right there. I think right now America's going to be faced with dealing with what they did with respect to voting for Trump. They're looking at this war. They're going to have to send their sons and daughters off to some faraway land for no real reason to put themselves in harm's way. That's going to happen, and I think they're finally going to snap and say no more. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely, DL. Thanks for coming up, man. Mandrell, my guy, man. What's good? What you got for us?
Gotta be honest, I was hoping this wouldn't happen. You know, this whole thing with Israel and Iran. Turns out America's been footing the bill for everybody's conflict for a very long time. And that came out when that information was made obvious when we found out that they downgraded the military for the United Kingdom. They're now, the entire military is no longer considered a tier 1 military. They're barely tier 2. They just don't have the personnel. They don't have the funding. They don't have enough of anything. So that tells you that America's been footing the bill for everybody in their conflict. We've been in their conflicts doing favors for them and everyone else. And it's like, that's how we stay afloat with war, you know? So we can't be surprised that the no more war president sends us to war. And my thing with Trump is everyone has to understand that you have to always take Trump seriously, but never at his word. Ever. You can never take him at his word, but always take him seriously, because he's going to do something, and to us it's going to be something stupid, but it's going to be something to benefit himself and his friends in the 1%. Or someone else. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be someone with power and money and influence. But hopefully this ain't going to come to our shores. No one's got the resources for that. So I don't think anyone needs to stock up on ammo for that. If we fall, it's going to be a domestic issue. It's going to be shit like this that kicks it off, but we're going to tear ourselves apart. And we've been tearing ourselves apart for the longest. We're milking ourselves dry. The more money you take away from the middle class, the worse your economy gets, the worse your country gets. The stronger your middle class is, the stronger your country and economy gets. But you got everybody at the top who wants to make all the money. How can we get people to spend more money? We'll make a better product. No, we can't do that. That's going to cost. It's going to cost more money. Really, dude? Sorry, it's this one. I guess he wants to be on camera. You know what I'm saying?
That's cute. Boy or girl?
It's a boy. But yeah, that's what's going on. It really is all about money. Someone said follow the money. Yeah, but that's true. You follow the money, and that's all this is about ultimately. And them Epstein files. I don't care what nobody says. These Epstein files have a lot to do with this. He's trying to distract people from the Epstein files and do Israel a favor at the same time. That's what he's doing. He's helping himself. Like, how do you get indicted for like 96 crimes and you don't serve jail for none of them? No, they got you on like 50 of them at least, bro. 96 of them. You know, so as far as why people are still voting for him, most people are 1 in 4 people, by my own personal calculation, I say 1 in 4 people are doorknob stupid in America. I think so, at least. You know, so that's why you got people, and they treat politics like a football team. As long as their team does something good, they're gonna rock with them no matter what. You know, good or bad. You got people good or bad, they still gonna rock with their team. You know, and you can't treat it like that at all.
No. You
know, it's not a game, it's not a sport. But they've turned politics into entertainment. That's why people have come to watch. You know, more people watching the debates than that. They want to be entertained. And then these debates aren't really debates. They're just screaming messages. It's like watching these panels on YouTube.
Yep.
That's what it reminds me of.
No. Well, I appreciate it, man, Joe. Thanks for jumping on, man. You know you're welcome anytime, man. It's good seeing you.
Good seeing you too, man. I see you around still.
Yeah, I get it. You know, man. Yeah.
I did not see you on TikTok.
Man, real quick to the audience, man, I am a very, as y'all can see, very animated person. Guys like Mandrell, DL, Tommy, they know how I am, so they know how to deal with me. They know I'm crazy, but stick to the topic. I'm very passionate about what I talk about. And guys, straight up, man, I'm angry. I'm angry we got into another war. I'm angry that people are already dead. I'm angry that we got a lot of children dead in Iran right now. And so one of the things I want you guys to ask yourself is all of this worth it? Is all of this worth the decline of our American spirit? Is it better to spend trillions of dollars in the Middle East than it is to spend trillions of universal health care for our people? Is the neglect of our infrastructure the cost for Israel's territorial ambitions? More importantly, is it worth the lives that have been and will be lost in this conflict? For me, that's a very easy answer. No, it isn't worth it. That being said, we're at war. War is chaos, but we must do our best to understand the dynamics at play, recognize patterns, and better identify the bad actors banging on the drums of war, or we'll never actually get around to preventing war in the first place. Thanks for joining me, and make sure to like, share, subscribe. I'm Tyrus. I'll see you next week. Have a good night.